Our next speaker is an independent AI researcher. He's the co-founder of the Plurality Institute and San Francisco's first cat cafe. And he happens to be in San Francisco this week. In New York this week. Please welcome up David Bloomin.
Hi guys, my name is David, and I'm here to talk about love and how I think it's the missing ingredient for both AGI and alignment, inspired by nature and science fiction. So I think the holy grail of AI research is how do we make an AI agent that's both generally intelligent and doesn't destroy humanity? And to unpack that, an AI agent is, well, in the same way that ChatGPT takes a prompt and produces an answer, or DALL-E takes some text and produces an image, an AI agent takes past observations and produces the next action. And a generally intelligent AI agent is one that's able to go into an environment that it hasn't seen before and figure it out. It's able to explore, form theories, test them, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes. Essentially, you can think of it as a grab bag of behaviors that we associate with general intelligence. So how do we build a generally intelligent AI agent? Well, we can follow the recipe that we used for our current generative AI revolution, which is we get a lot of training data, we get a very large neural network, and then we use a lot of compute to train the neural network on the training data. So why does this work? It works because neural networks are universal function approximators, which is just fancy talk for they'll learn to do whatever it is that your training data pushes them towards doing. So if you give them a bunch of text and images, they learn to be DALL-E and make all the slides for this presentation. If you just give them prompts and completions, they learn to translate between languages and do deduction and answer questions. So the question is, what kind of a data set, what kind of training data do we need to make an AGI? And the trick there is we don't just want something that answers a single question. We want something that is able to deal with a history of observations. So rather than having a flat data set, we want to give it an interactive environment that it can then explore and learn from. And what we want is for that environment to, one, provide learning opportunities, reward intelligence, and make sure that it can never be mastered. So there always needs to be something new to learn so that the agent can actually learn how to learn. So how do we build that environment? One trick is that we can make a relatively simple environment and then just fill it with other agents. That way, rather than just having to master the rules of the game that are pretty simple, the agent has to understand the social dynamics. And so as the AI gets smarter, so does the competition, which means there's always new things to learn. The problem with that, it's really hard to explore. You can never do anything that puts you at a disadvantage to your competition because then you get exploited. So cooperation provides a much richer set of behaviors. There's many ways that you can cooperate that don't lead to you being exploited. The problem with that is it's really hard to cooperate when everyone around you is selfish. Nature solves this problem with love. Animals are born into a world surrounded by their kin, and cooperation is much easier when helping others also helps your genes get into the next generation. So in nature, there's this whole spectrum of love, ranging from altruistic hive insects like ants and bees to purely selfish Wall Street sociopaths, with most animals being somewhere in between. And this gives rise to all sorts of complex social behaviors, including support, caretaking, building trust, maintaining reputation, forming coalitions, all of these forms of behavior. And so my hypothesis is that agents that are trained in this kind of environment will learn not just how to learn, solving the AGI problem, but also will learn how to care for other agents, since they're always surrounded by agents that they have to cooperate with. And so that's the research that I'm working on. I'm building model environments and training AI agents in these environments. Essentially, think of it as building a model organism like a fruit fly for our eventual AI overlords. So here's, in a second, there'll be a demo of one of these little environments. It's like a little petri dish with 5 agents that are running around collecting scarce resources. They manage energy, they compete, they can fight, they can help each other, they cooperate. And this is just one example of the environments that I'm working on. I'm happy to give you more demos afterwards. I call this project meta learning, which comes from the Pali word for love and kindness. And I think it's just really poetic that love can really solve both of the core issues of AI, both how do we get an intelligence treadmill and how do we get AIs that actually care about us and other things. Thank you.